Hello students, welcome to the case study of the Gen AI course. So based on whatever we have seen so far, so we'll do a complete case study. So and then we will just move on. Right? So let's begin. So just an introduction. So now we will have an introduction to this. So I will stop the code from running. Alright. So generative AI involves using machine learning models to generate new data that resembles a given dataset. One popular method for image generation is using generative adversarial networks, GANs. GANs consist of two neural networks, the generator and the discriminator, which compete against each other to create realistic images. So here you can see we have a complete algorithm already written, so we have wrote it, and this is called as the generator. So this is going to generate the content, and this is going to discriminate. I mean, it's going to discriminate and it's going to compare the things and stuff. And we are going to combine the generator and discriminator here using this particular function, and then we are going to train the GAN using our data, and here the training occurs, and then we are going to save the generated images at intervals. Finally this function is going to save it. So that's the thing about it, and these are the parameters which we pass, and this is the training process function. So this is the thing about it. So let's just a general overview. So let's see. So next comes the understanding GANs part. I mean, understanding the generative and adversarial networks. So first we will talk about the architecture, the GAN architecture. Basically the generator takes random noise as input and generates an image. So that's what it's gonna do. So the generator. And discriminator, it takes an image as input and determines if it is real from the data set or fake generated. So this is what the discriminator is going to do. So the generator tries to create realistic images to fool the discriminator, while the discriminator tries to correctly identify real and fake images. So that's what's going to happen. So it's like what can we say? It's like two corners, everywhere, anytime you take anything in this world. So if something comes, some other thing will come. So like for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Similarly, so for everything you do there will be a result. Likewise, when you go to a boxing ring, so you will be a fighter, and in the opposite, for whatever the attack punches you throw, there is going to be an opponent. He is going to counter your attacks and he is going to attack you back, right? So similarly, so this is also the same. The generator is like you and the discriminator is like your opponent. Applications: creating realistic images for art, gaming and virtual reality. So data augmentation for training other machine learning models. So these are the general applications for this particular thing. And third comes the data set preparation. For this case study, we will use the CIFAR-10 dataset. So you can see over here from the Keras datasets. So which contains basically 60,000 or 32 into 32 color images in 10 different classes. So we have the code for that here. So here we load and pre-process the data basically. So this is going to do that process, and building the GAN model part. So for that we are defining the generator here. So you can see over here. So for that we are defining the generator here. So this is the generator part, and this code, all these internal things will not be taught here, it will be taught on the course, but for your understanding, so this is the generator, right? And here's how we define the generator, and here we define the discriminator, and in the third step we are going to combine the generator and the discriminator. So that's what we're gonna do. So in the third part we are going to combine the generator and discriminator together, and we are going to train the GAN. So that will happen here. The training the GAN will happen here. The loss functions and the train loop. right? So that we will do here, and we will train the generator here, and we will save the generated images at certain intervals, and we are going to print the progress as well here. So this is the thing about it. So right, so these are the things responsible for those things, I mean for these things to happen. So till these things plt.plot.close. So here also we are using the library named as architectures like for example, so advanced GAN architectures like DC-GAN or WGAN. So these are the several things. So this is what we're gonna do see here. And finally comes the conclusion for the conclusion part. Right. So we're going to summarize. I mean, yeah. So we're going to summarize. So whatever we have seen. So whatever. So here we are using some of the libraries for those particular purpose. So here specifically we are using the TensorFlow library, which is popularly used in the machine learning things for I mean in machine learning as well as the generative AI. Yeah. So we are just importing that from the TensorFlow. I mean, first of all, we are importing the TensorFlow as TF, and from the TensorFlow, from the Keras datasets, we are importing this particular model, and followed by, so we are also importing a library named as NumPy and also a library named as Matplotlib. And first of all, we are loading and pre-processing the data here. So we train the model like this and stuff, and here we define the generator, so which is going to generate the images, and it's going to, I mean all this process is going to do, so it's going to return that this function is going to do that. And the discriminator, so whatever we generate, so it's going to evaluate the thing, so it's going to determine whether the generated thing is realistic or fake. So that's the thing. And here we are just basically we are creating a function, and we are passing the generator and discriminator both. Here you can see over here it takes two parameters, this particular function. We are going to combine both of these things here. So and this finally is going to return a certain thing. And here we are training the GAN, so you can see. So yeah, and training the generator and saving the generated images and intervals and printing the progress. So finally saving the images, so you can see over here. So it's also taking some sort of parameters, and finally we are also training the GAN together, so using the generator, discriminator, everything. So whatever is defined. So and finally when we run this particular thing, so we can get a certain output like this, so you can see over here. So basically this is a, I mean very some sort of, what can we say, very basic thing. I mean it's a very basic image, so generated out of this particular thing. So you can see over here. Also when I open the terminal, you can see the progress, so which is progressing, right? So like this is how it's working. So right, you can see over here, right? So this is the thing about it. So this is just a general case study. Yeah, so like here, so we just used a simple algorithm. So I mean we have declared a simple algorithm so to generate images like this. You can see over here it's like a film roll, yeah, used in the vintage cameras. You can see this is a sample picture. So basically everything is, I mean defined to, I mean working together to generate this particular image. For more realistic images, we have to train the model using certain things, like that will be detailed, I mean how to generate such kind of realistic images. So that will be taught in the course in detail. So for more information you can join our course, in certificate course in generative AI. So there we will teach you whatever it is required to build a successful model like Dolly or stuff, right? Thank you so much. So this is the thing about it. So we'll see you in the course.